Welcome back, friends. Last guy and it's time for Professor Layton the Miracle Mask voice LP. Let's continue. It's been a couple days. Let's see what voices I remember. That's the thing, is you gotta be consistent. The story so far. Layton and his companions go and speak to Dalston, who owns a large number of businesses in Monte. Dalston recommends that Layton go to the city hall, where the mayor has established a special task force. Oh yeah, right. We met these guys. Alright. Got like a blockhead. And a block chest. And a block dick. Okay, and a block guy. And a not block guy anyway. Okay, so... Alright. Let's go with this guy. I clicked on him instead of using this. Oops. Talk to him. I think it's all one conversation, actually. When you're ready to start, talk to Chief Inspector Sheffield and take your seat. Alright. This dude. How long is this meeting going to last? Maybe we should plan a small exercise routine so we don't get stiff. It's our brain we're meant to be exercising, Inspector. Alright, freaking blockhead. Look at this dude. There's ever been a red herring for the biggest jerk in the game, it's gonna be this guy. Or he is the biggest jerk in the game. Right, are we ready to get this meeting started? Not got any other business, have you? Because this is gonna take a while. Alright, oh, it's gonna take a while. Cutscene, hopefully. Cutscene, hopefully. Ah, nope. Good then. Park yourself in that seat and let's get this over with. That's the voice I went with. Oh, good. Cutscene. Alright. See what he sounds like.
Let's not drag this out any longer than we need to. Grab a seat and sit in it.
I was close. I was close. What they actually used. Sorta. It would have been amazing if they made them all look the same, by the way. All the cops.
Bloom, the floor's all yours.
Please, if you would give me your attention, then perhaps I could help you apprehend the masked gentleman. Since you have proven yourselves to be astoundingly ineffective thus far, we've brought in some extra brain power to expose the truth behind these malicious tricks. This masked buffoon has made 4 appearances. We will now dissect each one carefully.
His freaking hat. Dang, I wanted more cutscene. Alright. By demystifying the masked gentleman's crimes, we aim to learn his methods, and use that knowledge to track him down. We have a special guest here. His skills of observation are unparalleled in this room. Professor Layton, if you will. Of course. Would you, where would you like to start? Let's start with the most straightforward case, the people who turned into horses. Ah, yes. I haven't been able to gather much evidence on that case. However, I understand that there were witnesses. Indeed. Perhaps we should fill you in on what we know? Thank you. That would be very helpful. Well, naturally, we have statements taken from witnesses at the scene. Let's start with those. Please go ahead, Detective Bloom. Solve the puzzle! Okay, we're doing puzzles. We're doing puzzles up in here. Alright. We'll keep this screen for now. I will now summarize the witness statements and present some relevant evidence. Please pay close attention. The incident occurred at night. The carnival's main attraction, the nightly parade, was in full swing. As the parade approached a bend in the road near the shopping district, the masked gentleman appeared. Presumably, the area was full of tourists. Yes, just as the masked gentleman had planned. A flash lit up the sky, and the crowd looked up to see the gentleman stood high above them on a ledge. Oh, snap! According to our reports, he snapped his fingers and the light intensified, blinding the onlookers. A horse! When the bright light subsided, it appeared that some of the people had turned into horses. At any rate, those people vanished, leaving behind only a few personal effects. Detective Bloom, do you have a theory as to what really happened that night? Yes, I do. I see. Please allow me to confirm a couple of points before we continue. Does the parade start at the same time every evening? In a manner of speaking, I suppose. It always starts just after sunset. Were we able to confirm the identities of the people who were supposedly turned into horses? No, oddly enough, none of their belongings contain any IDs, and no missing person reports have been filed. I see. Thank you, Detective. Looking at the information at hand, I believe the truth is clear. The masked gentleman obviously tricked witnesses into believing some people had been turned into horses. There was one essential atmospheric element to his charade. What was the key element necessary for the masked gentleman's trick to work? Let's go over here. The colors in the parade, the weather, the time of day. I want to believe time of day, right? Go with time of day. Of course. Thank you. Yeah, thank God. It was already dark at the start of the parade, so it would be easy to miss things, even before the blinding light. My thoughts exactly, Professor. And of course, it's much easier to trick the eyes with bright lights when it's dark all around. Several witnesses claimed they actually saw tourists transform into horses. I, however, do not believe in magic. Why couldn't the witnesses have seen the tourists transform? There were no tourists. The wording here is probably what gets you. I'm going to say there's no tourists, but it could be their eyes are closed because of the blinding light. Control C. This? Yep, okay, good. Of course. When the horses appeared, the people's eyes must have been closed. Right, at night, their eyes would have been extremely sensitive to bright light. They couldn't have seen anything. In other words, the masked gentleman temporarily blinded onlookers to cover up the trick. A so-called tourist swiftly left, and the horses were set in the street, which leaves just one thing left to explain. Where were the horses hidden? In the alleys or in the sewers? This one I'm probably going to get wrong. It's not the art gallery. Let's say... in the alleys nearby or in the sewers? Let's go alleys. Okay, good. The small dark alleys giving on to the high street, one could hide horses in those and release them all at once. It would seem you have it all worked out, Professor. Would you care to elaborate for everybody? Certainly. First, it seems that the key to this miracle was in its location. The shopping district is full of little alleys, and that particular area is isolated by a bend in the road. Just before the incident, everyone was absorbed in the parade. No one paid attention to the dark alleys. A bright light appeared suddenly, blinding the crowd, and horses were released from the alleys. At the same time, people disguised as tourists dropped some props and went to hide in the alleys. By the time the witnesses could see clearly again, all they beheld were the horses. Precisely, but there's no evidence that the masked gentleman had accomplices planted among the tourists. True, but isn't it suspicious that the belongings found at the scene contained no forms of identification? Besides, if these people had been genuine tourists, their families would have surely reported them missing. Very good, Professor. That was my conclusion as well. Puzzle solved! Alright. What? So the masked gentleman's miracle was just a simple trick? Yes, Inspector. Smoke and mirrors, so to speak, only in this case it was bright lights and dark alleys. Alright man, let's have a breather. Layton, come and see me again when you're ready to go on. Oh, that was it? Okay, it wasn't that long. Talk to them again. I'll look around a second. Alright, talk to them. It's good to have your help on this case, Professor. Your insight may bring us a great deal closer to catching our villain. We won't resume the meeting without you. Just talk to the Chief Inspector whenever you're ready. Oh really, just keep talking? Alright. So they're breaking up the briefing, okay. That's Layton for you. Reckon you can explain the next miracle too? Alright, we're doing the next one. Alright, go. Alright, time to move on to the next miracle. Let's see what you make of this one, Layton. I will do what I can. What do you know? Not a lot. The short of it is some characters popped out of paintings at the art gallery and ran riot in town. Time for the next puzzle. Characters from paintings ran riot, you say. What did they do exactly? They attacked people. The witnesses reported people dressed in strange clothes charging around and breaking things. But when the sun went down, they disappeared just as quickly as they appeared. Did anyone actually see these people step out of the paintings? No, the gallery had already closed by then. In that case, why did anyone suppose that they came out of the paintings? Well, apparently they looked just like some characters in famous paintings down to the finest detail. And when we checked the gallery, they saw that the paintings were empty. Empty? Do you mean... The characters in those paintings were all gone, vanished. Only thing left was the background. Wow. You saw this yourself? Interesting. The key to this trick must lie in the paintings themselves. That's what I thought, but we've thrown our best experts at these paintings and haven't found a thing. I see. Please allow me to ask a few more questions, then. Were the paintings from which people disappeared from a common source? Well, that's a good question. Of course. Did the paintings come from a common source? As a matter of fact, they did. According to the curator, they were all donated earlier that day. Okay, that's convenient. There's a collection of replicas and the donor wanted to remain anonymous. All the paintings we're investigating came from that collection. That can't be a coincidence. Whoever donated those paintings was an accomplice. Agreed. We looked into it, but nobody has a clue who this mysterious donor is. We questioned the whole staff of the gallery, but they all came out clean as a whistle. What a huge blooming waste of time all that was. I think we must understand how the illusion was created in order to find the truth. Unusually framed or strangely packaged? Not oddly shaped. Strangely packaged or unusually framed? Let's go with unusually framed. No. Were the frames of the paintings unusual in any way? Were there any thick enough to hide or say a person? That's not what I was going for. No, we examined all the frames closely and even took some apart, but they were completely ordinary. So it's packaging. There you go. Were the paintings packaged in any particular way? The curator did say that the paintings were vacuum sealed. He said this was usually reserved for rare items. Interesting. I believe the airtight packaging is relevant here. Portraits were sealed when they arrived, and the frames came in thick, metal cases. The gallery staff were pretty surprised that replicas were given such secure packaging. We didn't really think much of it. Indeed. Still, in order for my theory to be correct, the donation must have included specific display instructions. Did the display instructions specify when to display them, where to display them, how to arrange them, when to display them? Of course, there we go. Were there specific instructions about the exact time to display the paintings? Yes, actually there were. How'd you know, Layton? The crates arrived in the morning, but the instructions from the donors said to display them precisely at noon. And therein lies the trick. Vanishing paint, because they were vacuum sealed. The portraits were treated with a special paint that slowly disappears when exposed to air. Does such a thing even exist? We have all observed how sunlight causes a painting to fade, yes? In a similar way, it's possible to create chemically reactive paint that turns transparent when exposed to air. Of course, with paint like that, you could make anything disappear from a painting. Correct. Naturally, it would take some time for the paint to turn transparent, so the timing must be precise. The seals were removed so that the paint disappearing would coincide with the appearance of the rioters. The masked gentleman had these rioters dressed up exactly like the individuals in the portraits. This is either genius or utterly hogwash. Puzzle solved. I like this theory of yours, Layton, but we have no evidence to back it up. Well, I doubt such paint would just disappear without a trace. If you examine the canvas for chemical substances, you'll find residual outlines where the paint turned transparent. I'll order the analysis. Excellent work. I underestimated you, Layton. Another one down. Good work, Professor. Let's have a break. Order the breaks around here, Bloom. Alright, everyone, off you go. Layton, let me know when you're ready to go on. Because we're just doing this slog of puzzles, I guess? That's why they were preparing us? Next. It's good to have your help on this case, Professor. Your insight may bring us a great deal closer to catching our villain. We won't resume the meeting without you. Just talk to... So it's the same lines. Okay. Nothing new. Next puzzle. Do these even count as the puzzles, though? They probably don't, do they? Yeah, they'd be under the index. They don't count. Okay. So there are additional puzzles that aren't in the index. Guy. Time for the third mystery. Right, you lot. Let's get on with it. Inspector Grosky, you're up next. Alright, Layton. Here's another of the Crook's miracles for you to ponder. Even you'll find this one hard to explain. We'll see. If it's anything like the first two, it's not a miracle at all. The other two didn't involve people being engulfed in flames. True. Tell me more about it. And try not to drift into the other guy's voice on accident. Certainly. I have a report right here. The incident took place last of Sunday. That morning, 13 citizens received an anonymous letter. Naturally, it was from our dastardly villain, the masked gentleman. Esteemed citizens, I cordially invite you to a special afternoon showing of my latest miracle. Come to the Gallery Plaza at 1 p.m. sharp. I must insist you attend unless you wish to forfeit your life, that is. Oh, God. He also advertised the event in the papers, Miracle en Rouge, a modern piece by the masked gentleman. That's a bold move. I suppose the townspeople came? Townspeople and tourists alike. The crowd was enormous, apparently. Citizens of Monte are welcome. I am the masked gentleman, your host for today's event. Also with us this afternoon are 13 very special guests, here at my personal behest. The Kirk's voice could be heard, but there was no sign of him, only an odd tent in the plaza center. Then just before 1 p.m., the canvas fell to reveal a stage with the 13 invitees standing on it. How far were the audience from this stage? Oh, they can't have been close, or a lot of them would have been hurt. You see, when the clock struck 1, boom! Holy shit! Yeah, that'll freak people out. The 13 people on stage all burst into flames. According to reports, the flames grew to an inferno, then poof! Gone, along with the people on stage. The people on stage disappeared? Correct. As far as I can see, the only explanation is they burnt to ash and blew away. That's not a miracle, that's a public execution. Yeah, except it wasn't. They were all found at their homes later on, with not as much as a scratch. But that's... impossible, yes. The victims were just as confused as us. They went to the plaza and that's all they remember. Did you check the stage? Perhaps there was a space to hide underneath? It wouldn't have been much of a hiding place. The entire stage was consumed by the flame. I'm racking my brain, but it would be easier to bench press Lottie. Are you investigating officers? Are the investigating officers present? Yes, sir. I took statements from the witnesses and interrogated all 13 individuals involved, sir. Splendid. If you don't mind, I'd like to ask you a few questions. Master Gemini had handpicked his victims. Were they... friends with each other? Were the invitees friends by any chance? No, sir, not exactly, but there was something. Go on, please. Well, it turns out the 13 invitees are all members of the same squash club. Really? That's news to me. Tell me more about this club. Not much to tell, sir. It's a popular club, but I concluded that the whole thing was just a coincidence. A coincidence, eh? What do you think, Layton? I think the young officer may have found a lead. Now I have another question. Did any witnesses see... the victims go on stage? Go with that. Did anyone see the 13 people take the stage? No, sir. It was... no one was seen entering the tent or leaving it. So the invitees all got on stage without anyone seeing them. In the middle of the day, no less. Indeed. I think this detail might be the key to solving the puzzle. A final question, if I may. Could you tell me about the clothes the 13 wore on stage? Of course, sir. Ask me anything. Of course, sir. Ask me anything. Same clothing, nothing. Other clothes later on. Were they wearing other clothes later on? Were the invitees' clothes different from what they were wearing when found later on? I don't know, sir. Is it important? It may be. Could you check for me? Of course, sir. I'll have a quick look through the photos. What are you thinking, Layton? We might be onto something here. How did you guess, sir? All their outfits changed. What? I checked the photos from the incident. The invitees were all wearing something else when we found them later on. What's that got to do with... Oh, I think I've got it. But no, they're waiting for the yard. Don't hurt me, Inspector. What is it? The victims' clothes burnt up on stage and they all ran home naked. Grosky, please. Well, I don't hear anyone else speaking up. Stop that smirking, Layton. What is it? Out with it. I don't believe any of our 13 victims ever left their homes. They're watching a squash game. Nonsense, Layton. Hundreds of people saw them on that stage. Allow me to explain. We know that the masked gentleman sent instructions to the 13 people asking them to come to the plaza. That's right. But the whole town was sure to attend thanks to the newspaper advert our villain already had his pick of victims. I believe the 13 each received 2 letters. The first letter was to be shown to the police, and the second held the true instructions. These so-called special guests were not summoned to the plaza at all. They were ordered to stay away, threatened even. But they were on the stage! No, it really looked as though they were. Those people on stage were really just expertly crafted mannequins. And the clothing? Ah yes, the dolls even wore clothing that belonged to those they resembled. Clothing that was stolen in advance. Ah, from the squash club. Some of them did say they had been victims of theft recently. Hang on a moment, sir. While the 13 were safely at home, the masked gentleman burned their likenesses before the horrified crowd. The onlookers were already convinced he could perform miracles, so all it took was just rudimentary pyrotechnics. That's preposterous! Professor Layton, sir, you're right. I found a second letter in one of the unsorted evidence bags. And there we have it. Puzzle solved. Layton just being amazing. Very impressive, Professor. We're still investigating the petrification incident, but once we have more to go on, I'd appreciate your input. Who knows, now that we're on to the masked gentleman's methods, perhaps we can solve this one ourselves. I have faith in your team, Detective. I won't be beaten by this little toad and his fancy circus tricks. I knew they were tricks all along. Now I've got a crook to catch. I'll run 1,000 miles if I have to. For the yard! Wow. Inspector? Huh. I think we'll be leaving too. Thanks again for your help, Professor. Inspector Goski and I will continue our investigation for the petrification incident. Once he's calmed down, that is. We'll contact you just as soon as we've finished. I look forward to it. We'll follow our own leads in the meantime. Well then, meeting over. Back to the investigation. Alright, see if we can talk to people for quizzes. I mean, puzzles. Quizzes. Professor, with your reputation for cracking cases, I must say I'm looking forward to seeing the fruits of your investigation. Once we have something to report, Detective, we will be sure to inform you. And regarding your own investigation, have you any inclination as to the identity of our villain? I suspect that the masked gentleman is a tourist. In fact, I have my team scouring hotel records as we speak. It's slow work, though. There are hundreds of tourists who have been in Monte for over a month. I imagine it's hard to gather many concrete details regarding the culprit. Yes, especially given this town's situation. The carnival certainly isn't helping. Indeed, with so many either wearing a mask or a costume, almost anyone could be a suspect. What's more, Sheffield tiptoes around the public. He's focused on shielding them rather than catching the culprit. Doesn't he see that the best way to protect the townspeople is to arrest the masked gentleman? I'm sorry, I've got a mountain of profiles to go through. I should get back to it. Blue and Sheffield don't seem to see eye to eye, do they? Sheffield see his vision of things. Oh, good, a puzzle. Enough about accomplices, I'm telling you. He's our man. No, get me evidence. No, get me my evidence now. Ah, Layton, good timing. We're on to the verge of a breakthrough here. A few more pieces of evidence and we're bringing our suspect in for questioning. Even if he tries to run, we won't get far. He won't get far. There are ways to track a person's movements. Here, have a look at this. It's one of the exercises we use to develop our men's tracking skills. Okay, what the hell is this? Puzzle 41. From the sidelines. A little boy who was walking around town stopped at a certain place and stood watching people for a while. They were moving around in 3 distinct patterns as shown. Where was he? Circle your map on the circle your answer on the map. By the way, the patterns are shown as seen from the side. I'm confused. What? Okay, so the boy saw what I assume is a clock. Like, well, this is like a pendulum or... Oh, okay, wait. Let's do this better. Let's think about this better. What's this movement? That's a triangle. This is like a pendulum swing. And there's like up-down motions going on here. Little boy who was walking around town stopped in a certain place and stood watching people for a while. They're moving around in 3 distinct patterns. These are people, not items, not objects. Okay, so what would go in a triangle? What would have them go back and forth like this, and what would do this? Okay, so let's say I can only imagine the boy was like right like here and seeing things like this. So this is C, that's A, and that's B. Pendulum swing, someone doing orders or whatever, like people going back and forth around the clock tower doing this, and then people going back and forth on the park. I don't understand too well. I feel like the hospital would be a bigger mess of things. Police station, same thing. A train station would be... Like, okay, that would be that way. Okay. So I can only see 2 things. One is this angle, where you're seeing all these things, and it would be going up like this. Yeah, you can see my mouse. So it would be going up like this. Or, like, going up C. Or the other way is, from the restaurant, The other would be from the restaurant. And they're seeing B right here, A right here, and this is C. We see the train's going straight, so I don't know about that. So I'm going to say the boys at the train station, but I could be very wrong about this. Now, the other way to see it is we could be that the boys at train station, the restaurant is C, the hospital is B, and the police station is A. Or that the police station sees the train as B, the restaurant as A, and the hospital as C. Park can't work. You can't do the... Park doesn't work at all. The clock tower doesn't work at all. Because I don't know if you can get that angle. Maybe? I don't think you could get that angle. Those don't work. These two, clock tower and that don't work. Hospital could potentially work. Go back to black. Hospital might work. Train station might work. Police station might work. Restaurant might work. But I don't think you could do clock tower or park. I think it's train station or restaurant, but... Alright, let's go ahead and scum save. Say train station.
Don't keep me in suspense.
No! Alright, let's see here. Restaurant.
How about this?
Really? Alright, well now you got me. Okay, let's do some hints. 1. None of the movement patterns look much like those of people at first glance. People wouldn't be moving like that on their own. Okay, do another hint. People in patterns A and B appear to be using something that's causing them to move like that. That very other pattern rhythm going. Yeah. See? The 3 movement patterns are all of people on some kind of apparatus. All 3 can be, of course, be found at the same place. Maybe if you went to that place, you wouldn't be sure which apparatus you wanted to play on first. Seesaw! Swing! Whatever the hell this is. Baseball? It's the park. Oh, he's at the park. I thought he was looking at other places. He's at the park. I misunderstood the question.
How about
I misunderstood the question. Yeah, okay. I thought it meant he's seeing things at other places.
To be solved.
That's what it meant. So I misunderstood the question there. My B. That is my B. Oh, it's a slide. Go up the slide. Tick, 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 tick. Okay, okay. Who's at the park? A shows someone swinging on a swing. B shows 2 people on a seesaw. And C shows someone sliding down on a slide and running back to the ladder to go up. Again, what fun. As a parent, I feel like a park would scare me a little bit. One is, okay, swings are great, but kids are always trying to kill themselves on those things. I was one of them. Slides are great, but if they're wood, ooh, splinters. And if they're metal, ooh, that's going to burn like balls. Plastic seems the best. Seesaws, who isn't the dick kid that tries to hurt the other kid on this thing? Every kid's a sociopath on this thing. Okay, so we're done with that. You can tell I don't trust anyone after seesaws. Okay. From the sidelines, now in your puzzle index. I knew you'd get it. Our suspect is currently under close surveillance. He won't be going anywhere. Well, this sounds promising, Chief Inspector. Thank you. Just protecting our city, as we always have. We don't need a fancy Scotland Yard pen pusher to help us. Of course, but I'm sure Bloom doesn't wish to step on your toes. He wants to catch a criminal like you. I know. It's just that these London police always meddle and try to do things their way. So remember, if you find anything, come to me. I'm in charge here, not him. Wonder if we're gonna have to make a choice on that. Puzzle, please? Nope, coin. I did use some right now. Alright, let's get out of here. Whoop. Resume the scene investigation. Yep, mayor guy. I already forgot this guy's voice. Layton! I just heard the news. Stupendous! Absolutely incredible! It was nothing, Mr. Mayor. None of that now. The officers told me how you helped decipher those miracles we've been plagued with. We'll be able to reopen the gallery. The curator will be thrilled. He says some new pieces have already been donated. I'll personally see to it that they're checked for vanishing paint. Right, Professor. We can investigate the gallery ourselves now. Let's make it our next stop. We may find some valuable clues, and there are 1 or 2 finding sculptures I'd like to see. Is it the Venus? I like paintings better, but I like clues best of all. A new episode, Mind the Bureaucracy. So something I need to do is when we do these voice pieces, I need to try to record every single day. Because if I don't, I'm going to forget these voices. And I have forgotten voices. Unfortunately for me, work just piled up on me. I wasn't able to play every day. Anything new? No, civil servants. How about her? Nah, she's just talking. I remember the voice I gave her, though. All these slackers do is stand around drinking bad coffee and blathering about how tough the case is. Yeah, I gave her Southern. I remembered that. Oh, he smells a puzzle. And when a bunny smells a puzzle, you must look. Oh, where is this? Is it the mayor? Mayor's the puzzle? Nope, he's not. I've notified the gallery staff that they can reopen. Thanks again. If the rabbit smells a puzzle, there's a puzzle. Where the balls is this puzzle? Nope. Ah, hidden puzzle. The power cables for the lamps are connected in a rather peculiar way. That is pretty strange. Which one goes well, Professor? Alright. Okay, crossed connection. You have 4 cables plugged into 4 sockets, but as they run through pipes, you have no idea which cable connects to which socket. You only know part of where cables B and C run through. Shown above, the length of cable inside the pipe is 6m so for each cable, and each section of pipe is 1m long. However, while the vertical pipes can hold as many cables as needed, the horizontal pipes can only hold 1 cable. Can you work out which cable is connected to which socket? Alright, sure. Let's do some colors. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this screen as we colorate. Let's go with A. Let's go with C. C is already there, so C of course goes here, and we know it's right here, so that's 2 lengths. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's assume that's correct. That's a pure 6 right there. Now the thing is this B here. This is blue, so let's look at B. B's 1, 2, 3, which means no one else can cross those. 4, 5, 6. It has to be that, because this would be 5, 6. That wouldn't be enough. So that means D. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, that can't be it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That can't be it either. Hear it again. Go back. 1, 2. Oh no! Only blue goes through there. That would mean. No. Go back. Okay. If only blue goes through here, where does D go? Huh. Look, it has to go through here. 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That has to be it. It's 5, 6. Has to be here. But how would D work? D is like 1. Can't go any further on vertical or horizontal. Or is it? So vertical, horizontal. No, it's only horizontal. Forget what I said. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. That's where I tricked myself. It's horizontal is 1, vertical is multiple. So then A. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, there we go. We got it. Okay. So A goes to 3. Let's go back. A goes to 3. B4. D2. B4. D2. C1. Double check I did that right. Yeah, okay. And submit.
Just a dash of puzzle solving here.
Got it right. Oh yeah, booyah.
Fine puzzle
Booja.
for a gentleman.
Booja. Well done. Cable A goes into socket. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, we did it right. Heck yeah, we did it right. Woohoo! Whichever path the cables take within the pipes, the solution is the same. Yeah, okay. Interesting puzzle. That was an interesting one. Ah, that's that then. Still, why anyone would establish such an illogical setup is beyond my understanding. Different power usage? I don't know. Okay, so now we want to do this side story. Well, we're 1/4 through the game, apparently. Behind the bureaucracy. Following the masked gentleman's first malicious deed, the city hall admin are rushed off their feet. That is, until the mayor thinks up a brilliant way to save the city. Okay, see this? Michelle! Right here, Mr. Mayor. What's the matter? I've just had the most luminous idea. I see. Would you care to enlighten me as to, well then? Ever since the people turned into horses, palaver, we've had citizens asking all sorts of questions, right? Well, no wonder. They all want to know who this masked gentleman character is. If only that we knew. Now I know it's disrupting your work, so there's me thinking, how about creating a special task force to deal with them? We'd give them headquarters here in the city hall, so they'd be on hand in case anything else happens. Oh yeah, I want to voice him like Don Knotts. That's what I want to do. You guys look up Jimmy Stewart on him, I think. That's not a bad idea, actually. It's good, isn't it? We could even call up Scotland Yard and commandeer an investigation team. Wait a minute, sir. We can do that? Well, if we can, they'll just say no, won't they? And if they say yes, whoop-de-da for us. Well, at least you're staying positive, Mr. Mayor. Okay. Let us move on. We can do like one more puzzle. We find one real quick. Let's look for a puzzle. Oh, there's a lady to talk to. Was she there before? There's also a coin somewhere. The wabbit told me. Found it. Okay. Talk to lady. Oh god, it's her! That's the girl from the first game, isn't it? Yeah, she's the one who loves Grosky. Didn't she ask him out? I can't remember. Did she at least try? I hope she tried. Oh, Grosky? How will the neon lights of Monte emphasize your resolute jaw? Don't remember the voices, but I assume it was this. And the way the desert sun brings the flush of sweat to your bare arms? It's almost too much to bear? Oh, sorry, didn't see you there. I'm Hannah, president and sole member of the Clampets. Would you like to join? They met her before. Hello, Hannah. I thought I might see you sooner or later. Where Clamp goes, I always follow. I've barely seen him, though. He's been busy with police work the whole time. Sorry you had to come all the way from London for nothing. Nothing? It's my duty and pleasure to chronicle Grosky's every move. He's a legend, simply unbelievable. That's one way to describe him. Hannah, have you by chance chronicled the inspector while he investigated any of the supposed miracles? Of course. I've been on his trail ever since he left London. He's been scouring the whole city for clues. And I was actually there last night when those people turned to stone and nearly got trampled, and where was my hero? Why, I was too busy chasing down the villain to think of me? How could I dislike that fiery, unbridled passion? Well, I suppose it's good that he's always eager to track down injustice. Isn't it? Speaking of tracking, I happened to overhear a couple of officers talking about a curious set of carriage tracks. Next time I see Grosky, I'm going to tell him about the tracks. He works so hard, he may not have heard about them yet. On a different note, I found this photo while I was out documenting Grosky's movements. I think there's some sort of puzzle in it. Alright, puzzle time. Here we go. Like we found one quick. Couple at the cafe. The owner of a cafe took a photo of a visiting celebrity couple. Pleased as punch, the owner said he'd put it up somewhere in the cafe, but the resulting photo ended up looking a bit, well, miserable. Where's the best place to put it up without harming the cheerful ambiance of the cafe? Oh, and this is a special photo, so you can't cut it up. I just pick a place? Where should the photo go? Right there, in the frame. Can you just stick it there, or can you not? Like, if you stick it right, there's that wood post in the middle, so it doesn't look so bad. That's my mindset. I don't know if that's the correct way to do it, but it was just Control Z. Yeah. Submit.
Set him up and knock him down.
Don't. Alright, fine. Fine.
I haven't given up yet.
Rather than the usual way of putting the photo up. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Check a hint. What a photo. He's managed to get it so that the couple are right on the far edges from each other. They've even got their backs turned. Maybe the photo would be a bit more cheery if they were each facing someone. I was hoping for like a mirror, but I don't got a mirror, so... What can I... Yeah, where can I put things? On a chair? On a table? I don't rightly understand what I'm being asked here necessarily. Give me another hint, because I don't understand this question too well. Is there any way to get the couple to face each other without cutting the photo? You could put them together by rolling up the photo, couldn't you? Oh, that's a nice way to put it. You would roll it up on the pole? Look at that.
I'm going for it.
Okay, there you go.
Well, that's that.
Is that really a nice thing to do, to roll up someone's photo on a pole, though? It's an interesting way to put it, but who's going to see that picture, right? Like... I do not like this puzzle. Correct. Well, would you look at that? By wrapping it around the column, the photo is transformed into one depicting an amicable toast. Eee. Not a fan of that one. Couple of the cafe. Instruments. I will do that next time. We'll do it next time. We'll start next one. If only life were as simple as a puzzle? What am I doing? I don't have time to mope around. I'm President the Clampets after all. Okay, so next time we will do the shop puzzle. That'll be good and quick, and then we'll do more investigating. So that right there is the game for now. I have fun. Hope you have fun watching. That's what's all about it. Having fun. Thanks for coming by, and see you next time.